Hello, hello, hello. This is Deborah Razzo here with my friend and co-mentor, Courtney Jones. We have a mentoring program called Momentum Mentoring, RE, if you want to check it out, re.com. And we decided that we were going to just talk about some of the questions that come to us on a regular basis. And Courtney got a really interesting one this week. So Courtney, why don't you present?
I did. So Stephen asked, is a wholesaling offer always preferred, which of course a wholesaling offer is a cash offer, always preferred over a sub-2 or creative financing offer from the seller's perspective? Which I thought was a great question because, right, as a newbie, that is sort of what you think, especially if you're doing creative financing.
Yeah, I think it is a great question. And as an oldie, it's a little more widespread than that, right? You really have to look at what the person, the seller's needs are. First of all, I think first and foremost, you have to look at that. And then there's several different ways to handle it, multiple types of offers. Why don't you go into how you would handle it, and I'll go into how I would handle it.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple of different things. I think the hardest part about real estate for people, and I know you'll agree, Deborah, is there is no one size fits all, right? You can have a house with identical numbers and 20 different situations that might be the best for that seller. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with a higher price or whatever. It's all about what that seller's needs are. Whenever possible and whenever it makes sense, I will often offer multiple offers. And what I mean by that is I'm giving them a variety of options because I can buy their house any way that makes sense for them. So I might give them a full price offer or slightly above full price for great terms or for a subject to type situation. If I'm buying a house with creative financing or sub-2 and getting a 2.5% interest rate, and there's some good equity in there, I'm going to be able to pay full price for that property, right? But if there's a lot of work needed or they need to move quickly or they're not willing to take any terms or whatever, then I might have a cash offer, and my exit strategies would be different for each of those. So it depends on so many different things. It depends on the house, it depends on the seller, it depends on the numbers. There's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I would too also present a variety of offers. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually present those offers in writing as options, which most suits you. Option 1, option 2, option 3, right? And then even if they don't pick one of the options, like, oh, I want option 2, they'll say, I like option 2, but I was wondering about this, this, and this. And then you can zero in on what it is that they need, because it really
Absolutely.
is all dictated by that, by their needs. And a lot of times you talk to sellers and they're not sure what they need. They need they need out, and they're not quite sure how to get out. And so it is up to you to have those conversations and present different things. And I find everybody is so different. Some people can hear the different options just discuss them and it's fine. Some people need that visual. Some people need, okay, this is down on paper and this is what they can see. And then they need to think about it. And then they need to come back to you. It's a process, right? For some people.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
The reality is more people are visuals. So I feel like I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's like 75% of the country is visuals. So I always feel like you're better to have something in front of them. And if nothing else, at least they can keep referencing it. If you do recognize when you're talking to them that they're an auditory or a kinesthetic or whatever, then obviously you can do other presentation parts while you're having that. And that's a whole nother question for another day. But it is really just sort of listening to the individual to find out what they need. And a lot of times, like you said, they don't know what they need, but they also don't know all the variety of options. Most of our sellers don't know that seller financing exists or that they can do that or that they could walk away from their home and we can take over their mortgage payments. So because they don't know those things, it's our job to kind of educate them on that process and show them the different varieties. And that's why I like to make a 3 offer presentation and then let them kind of choose. And sometimes, as you said, that was perfect. Like sometimes they'll be like, well, I like this about this one, but this is another concern that I might have. And then you can kind of address that and be like, okay, well, so if I can fix that and I can address that, can we move forward?
Right.
And then you can kind of finish it up and make it happen.
Yeah. And the other thing I just want to add here is I know that we're talking about, like, say, 3 different offers, but you really want to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
outline the offers, because a confused mind doesn't make any decisions, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
We
we
want
want
them to be 12-page purchase and sales agreements. Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like a 1-page recap on what it's going to be like with bullets and a lot of white space.
Right. Total 1-page recap, and each option should just be just a few lines about how that would work, because you get into the details of it as it gets closer to somebody choosing what option is best for them, and there are detailed people and they'll ask for more detail, but most of the time, just being general and giving them a few different choices in a very simple manner is really enough to get that conversation started. And that's what you want. You want to continue a conversation, right? Because let's face it, this type of transaction is all about relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So as Deborah said, we're going to come back and do this every week. So we get a lot of questions and we decided, hey, let's do this weekly and answer these questions to help people on a regular basis, instead of just responding via email and helping the one person, when we could be helping, I don't know, 4 people or 12 people or 1,000 people or however many of you are watching. I have no idea. So we'll see you again next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. And we'll share this video in a couple places.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, put something down in the chat below and we'll answer it. Maybe we'll pick your question next.
That's right.
All right. Thank you. And if you want to know more, go to momentummentoring.com and find out more about our program. Thank you.
Bye.